England and Manchester United legend David Beckham played his final game as a professional footballer in May 2013, shortly after celebrating his 38th birthday. Beckham brought the curtain down on his extraordinary career by rolling back the years with an excellent display against Brest, as PSG wrapped up a 3-1 win on the final day of the season. The league title that Becks won in his final season with PSG was the 20th trophy of his illustrious career, and it made him the first and only Englishman to have won league titles in 4 different countries. Beckham is a fascinating footballer with a level of celebrity that is perhaps unmatched by anyone else in the sport, and by few outside of it as well. I'd love to make an in-depth video all about Becks at some point, analysing his career and talking about how good he really was, but today's video is just a classic Where Are They Now? Here is the PSG XI from David Beckham's final game, Where Are They Now? Salvatore Sirigu, Torino. Experienced Italian international Salvatore Sirigu spent 5 seasons at the Parc des Princes and 4 as the club's number 1. All told, he made 190 appearances in the French capital, twice picking up the Ligue 1 Goalkeeper of the Year award. Sirigu was signed in July 2011, a month after PSG's Qatari takeover, and he arrived from Palermo for just under €4 million. Initially bought as a backup to Nicolas Duchesne, Sirigu quickly became the Parisians' number 1, a role he would retain up until the arrival of Kevin Trapp in 2015. Sirigu spent the 2016-17 season on loan at Sevilla and Osasuna, and when Alphonse Areola leapfrogged him in the summer of 2017, Sirigu was allowed to leave on a permanent basis for his current club Torino. Mamadou Sakho, Crystal Palace. Born in Paris to Senegalese parents, Mamadou Sakho began playing for his local team Paris FC at the age of 6. 6 years later, aged 12, he was lured to Paris Saint-Germain. A striker at that time, Sakho went on to become a powerful but unorthodox centre-back. Sakho made his PSG debut at the age of 17, and he spent the following 5 seasons as an important player to the club. By the time he departed in a move to Liverpool for £18 million in 2013, Sakho had played more than 200 games for PSG. Sakho became a popular figure at Anfield, although he didn't always reek of composure and authority at the back. Following 80 appearances in 3 seasons, the Frenchman was banned by UEFA and by FIFA for 30 days after testing positive for the use of prohibited fat burners. Sakho never played for Liverpool again. He had an excellent half-season on loan at Crystal Palace, who subsequently forked out a potential £26 million to acquire his services. Sakho has since fallen out of favour at Selhurst Park and is now at a crossroads in his career aged 30, when he ought to be in his prime. Zoumana Kamara, PSG assistant manager. Once capped French international Zoumana Kamara, who won his only cap for Les Bleus at the 2001 Confederations Cup, spent the last 8 years of his career at PSG. Kamara spent most of that time as a backup option, registering no more than 11 appearances in each of his last 3 seasons with the club. The centre-back was born in the suburbs of Paris, but began his career with Saint-Etienne and didn't play in Paris until signing for PSG. Following more than 150 appearances for the club, ending his career with a trio of consecutive league titles, Kamara moved from the dressing room to the backroom staff at PSG in 2015. The 40-year-old coach is now in his 5th season, serving as one of Thomas Tuchel's 2 assistant managers. Siaka Tene, retired. David Beckham wasn't the only man making his final appearance for PSG against Brest 7 years ago, as Siaka Tene also left the club in the summer of 2013. Unlike Beckham, Tiene didn't retire that summer, but penned a 2-year deal with Montpellier. When that contract ran its course, Tiene hung up his boots, aged only 33, and he did so as the 5th most capped Ivorian footballer of all time, also winning the African Cup of Nations for the first time in his final season in the game. Christophe Jallet, Amiens. A Ligue 1 veteran with 16 caps for France to his name, Christophe Jallet is still going strong at the age of 36. Consistent, professional, and an excellent athlete, Jallet spent his best years with PSG. He arrived in 2009 from Lorient and registered more than 150 appearances over the next 5 years in Paris. A move to Lyon followed, where Jallet made his 2nd Ligue 1 Team of the Year inclusion in his debut campaign, and next up was a move to Nice. Jallet made a France squad as recently as 2017, and following a couple of seasons in the Côte d'Azur, the fullback joined current club Amiens last summer. Blaise Matuidi, Juventus. One of a number of footballers who have tested positive for the virus currently plaguing our planet, Blaise Matuidi is hopefully young and fit enough to fight it off. There are few fitter footballers on earth in truth, and Matuidi is an exceptional athlete and a tireless runner with first-class stamina. The 3rd former Saint-Etienne star in this 11, Matuidi joined PSG from Saint-Etienne back in 2011 for around €7.5 million. That proved to be an inspired piece of business, and Matuidi spent the next 6 seasons as one of the outstanding midfielders in Ligue 1 and one of the best box-to-box players on earth. There was some surprise then when in the summer of 2017, PSG sold Matuidi to Juventus for just €20 million initially. The Frenchman has continued his impressive form in Serie A, in addition to winning the World Cup with France in 2018, and we do of course wish him a speedy recovery from his current condition. Clement Chanton, AS Poissy. I'm going to expose one of the many vast holes in my footballing knowledge here, but I must admit that I'd never heard of the French outfit AS Poissy before making this video, so I hope you'll forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Poissy is a commune in the suburbs of Paris, and AS Poissy compete in the 4th tier of French football. They are best known for their impressive youth system, which has produced the likes of former French international Gerard Soler and current Senegalese international Mbaye Niang. They are also the current club of 32-year-old central midfielder Clement Chanton, who started alongside David Beckham in midfield for the former England captain's final game. Chanton was a product of the PSG academy system, and he went on to play 217 games for the club, winning 1 cap for France. Since his departure in 2015, Chanton has turned out for the likes of Bordeaux, Rennes and Red Star before dropping down into the mostly amateur Championnat National 2 with Poissy. David Beckham, businessman. Football club president, co-owner, entrepreneur, model, UNICEF ambassador, there are many titles one could bestow on a retired David Beckham, but I suppose businessman would probably be the most accurate since Becks now seems to have a finger in every pie. A legend of the game who was undeniably world class around the turn of the millennium, Beckham's entrepreneurial spirit was flourishing long before he retired from the sport. It was written into Beckham's contract with the MLS when he joined LA Galaxy that he could one day own his own MLS franchise for a cut price fee, and that dream became a reality in 2020. Becks also co-owned Salford City, along with many other business ventures and brands that have made him one of the wealthiest former athletes on earth. Javier Pastore, Roma. There was a lot of excitement surrounding Javier Pastore when he joined PSG in 2011. One of PSG's new Qatari owners' first real marquee signings, Pastore set the Parisians back a reported €40 million. Having excelled at Palermo, Pastore had a very good debut campaign at PSG and a decent second season. He failed to kick on from those first 2 seasons though and began to regress, with his game time reflecting that fact. Pastore left PSG in 2018 having made 265 appearances for the club, and I must admit, I thought return to Serie A might reignite his career. In fairness, since his €5 million switch to Roma, Pastore has never really had the chance to show his best form. Injuries have blighted the Argentine's time in the Italian capital, and it seems unlikely he will still be at the club whenever the 2020-21 season gets underway. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, AC Milan. A PSG legend who took just 4 seasons to become the club's all-time record goalscorer, in a record since overtaken by Edinson Cavani, Zlatan Ibrahimovic bagged a brace in David Beckham's final match in professional football. The ponytail-donning 6'5" frontman who has a black belt in Taekwondo joined PSG in 2012 for €20 million, and he went on to score an incredible 156 goals in just 180 games for the club. He was thrice named as the Ligue 1 Player of the Year and thrice took the Ligue 1 Golden Boot, winning 12 trophies in 4 seasons. Since leaving PSG, Ibrahimovic has played for Manchester United, LA Galaxy, and his current club AC Milan. Kevin Gameiro, Valencia. A quick and intelligent centre-forward, Kevin Gameiro spent 2 seasons with PSG. Like Beckham and Tierney, PSG's win against Brest was Gameiro's final game for the club. Gameiro departed with a record of 23 goals in 78 games, but he was far more prolific in the following 3 seasons with his new club Sevilla. Gameiro left Sevilla for Atletico Madrid for a potential €40 million in 2016, and 2 years later, he joined his current club Valencia for €16 million. That was the PSG starting 11 for David Beckham's final game in football, but before I leave you, I ought to give a quick mention to the 3 substitutes that day. The first of the 3 was Lucas Moura, who came on at half-time in place of Clement Chanton. Moura was a big money signing in Paris, setting the club back a reported €45 million, having grown a reputation as one of the finest prospects in Brazil with Sao Paulo. Moura often played well for PSG, and he played over 200 games for the club, but he never quite made the leap to become a top-class player as the club had hoped. Moura was snapped up by Mauricio Pochettino for around £25 million in January 2018, and he played a big role in Spurs' run to the Champions League final last season. PSG's second substitute that day was actually a change of goalkeeper, with Carlo Ancelotti forced to introduce Alphonse Areola in place of Salvatore Sirigu in the 48th minute. Areola joined PSG's youth ranks at the age of 13, and 14 years later, he is still contracted to his boyhood club. Capped thrice by France, Areola has made just over 100 appearances for PSG, restricted to that relatively low number by virtue of the amount of times he has been sent out on loan. Areola has had temporary stints with Lens, Bastia and Villarreal, in addition to his current loan move at Real Madrid. Lastly, PSG's final change of the afternoon was to withdraw David Beckham to a tearful goodbye to football and a standing ovation, with Ezequiel Lavezzi earning the rare distinction of becoming the last man to replace David Beckham on a football pitch. Lavezzi left PSG after 161 appearances in 2016, joining Chinese outfit Hebei China Fortune for a reported £10 million. The Argentine wide man hasn't won a cap for Argentina since, but he is reported to have become exceptionally wealthy. So, you know, every cloud. PSG's manager that day, and as such the last manager David Beckham ever played under, was three-time Champions League winner Carlo Ancelotti. Ancelotti has since managed Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Napoli, in addition to his current club Everton. That's all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a more in-depth documentary style video about David Beckham in the future, along with any other video ideas you have for me of course. Thank you all for watching, smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you are subscribed to HITC Sevens. I'm reliably informed that some foolish souls still haven't got round to it yet.